Blessings. It is truly a pleasure to speak with you, my sisters and brothers. I am Robert. I was talking to a gentleman I was giving a ride and was able to speak about the law of one, and I tried to direct him to find the law of one channel on YouTube, and this is not an easy channel to find. So, congratulations to those of you who have seeked and have found my humble words that I speak on behalf of the Confederation of Planets in service to our one infinite Creator. It's my pleasure to share with you conscious channeling of LL Research. It is my pleasure to share with you this material. This is core spiritual work on the self. The question is tonight, QO, what are the key barriers to and requirements for making contact with intelligent infinity? We are those known to you as the principle of QO. Greetings in the love and in the light of the one infinite Creator, in whose service we come to you this day. It is a great privilege and a pleasure to be with you this evening, to share your meditation, and to experience the beauty of your blended auras as you build in your circle of seeking a sacred space. The anchoring light of your circle grows every second and is beautiful to behold. We thank you for calling us to your circle of seeking. We are happy indeed to share our thoughts with you concerning the subject of the barriers to and the requirements for opening the gateway to intelligent infinity. However, as always, we would ask, before we begin, that each of you use your judgment as you listen to those things which we have to share. It is not possible for all of our remarks to be appropriate for all of those who listen to or read our words. So, when you listen, when something resonates to you, then by all means work with it, if you wish. But if something does not resonate to you, then please leave it behind. We would not wish to be a stumbling block before you. We appreciate your diligence in this discrimination, for it frees us to be unconcerned about whether or not we might infringe on your free will or disturb your process of spiritual seeking. Thank you for your kindness in this regard. The query places the question about the barriers to using the gateway to intelligent infinity before the question about discussing the requirements for such use. However, we would prefer to discuss the requirements first, so that as we speak of the barriers, it will be obvious as to why certain things are indeed barriers. You are marvelous creatures. Each of you is incredibly complex, and at the same time, utterly simple. Your energy bodies are those unseen parts of you that have molded your physical body. And the energy body is the essence of you as a person, or as those of Ra call it, a mind-body-spirit complex. The 7 chakras of the energy body are all important to functioning of your physical body, as well as your finer bodies. The gateway to intelligent infinity is at the very top of those chakras, involving the indigo and violet ray chakras. Springing from the open heart, the seeker may open the gateway to intelligent infinity by moving into the violet ray through the indigo ray with a desire and will, focusing in firm intention and asking that work may be done in consciousness. So, you open the gateway to intelligent infinity, the door to those specific inspirations which are desired, as opposed to the general and ever-flowing inspiration of the open heart, which abides in love itself. Love complete and love untouched by any other energy. With the gateway open, you become able to work with more specific types of guidance that, though specific, are in general unheard and pouring into the heart itself in concept and essence, rather than in thought and in words. The nurturing and care of the energy body is very important to those who wish to use the gateway to intelligent infinity in their seeking. Indeed, entities who are blocked in the lower three chakras are not able to sustain a full flow of the infinite creator's energy that comes from the bottom of the chakra system upwards and moves through the chakras, exiting at the crown of the head. The first requirement for working with the gateway to intelligent infinity is that the heart be open. Consequently, although many seekers do not wish to continue to work intensively with the lower three chakras, it is our opinion that it is essential to continue to work with those three chakras, giving them all of the honor and respect that you give the higher chakras. That which tends to block red ray is a level of depression that argues against life and the joy of life and difficulties with sexuality. Because of the fact that the red ray deals with matters of survival and sexuality, those who are limping along with no true appreciation of life are going to be limiting the flow of energy into their very first chakra, and therefore receiving into the heart only a fraction of the power or the energy that is available from the Creator. The orange ray chakra, being the seat of relationships of a personal nature with yourself and with others, is blocked when there is difficulty in those relationships, which causes the chakra either to be blocked or to be overactivated. So it is well to have a continuing focus in each relationship that is your privilege to sustain. watching for the vibrational harmony between you and the other, or indeed the harmony between you and yourself. So often the issues that you have with yourself can be quite toxic in terms of limiting the light that is flowing through that chakra. So it is well to spend time being sweet with yourself and with other selves as well. The yellow ray chakra is the chakra of group relationships or legal relationships such as the birth family, the marriage family, the work family, and other groups that create their own energies that have their own, shall we say, oversoul. And in this chakra too, the usual causes of blockages have to do with difficulties in these relationships. And again, because it is so easy to be blocked, at least momentarily, in yellow ray, it is a wise seeker who tunes one's heart and one's attention when dealing with those relationships in order that harmony may prevail. And when harmony has been lost from a certain situation, it is well to seek ways to restore it. For this restores the flow of energy through that chakra and into the open heart. It's the thing. Once an entity has reached the point where the heart is open and energy is flowing freely, one may then choose to move into the higher chakras. If one wishes to do work in consciousness, such as meditation, healing, prayer, or inspirational reading and reflection, one moves very consciously and deliberately into the indigo ray chakra, the home of faith. Here, one is always dealing with unseen things. In the indigo ray, one has left the physical body behind. The indigo ray is physically placed at the third eye position, at which the Hindu monk will place a red dot. For in the Hindu system of belief, there is a great appreciation of this chakra, and it is believed by them as well as us that it is the gateway, the door to direct contact with intelligent infinity, or as they would put it, the Creator. Dwelling in indigo ray, the seeker begins to approach the gateway by the use of silence. It is necessary that the mind be still to a great extent, so that the inspiration which is being sought may have room to flow into the chakra body through the violet ray, and then the indigo, and then to be seated in the heart. Once that connection has been made and there is a downflow of inspiration and information matching the upflow of the Creator's energy, it is possible to work in consciousness simply by allowing that flow to occur. and being aware consciously of that flow. For indeed you are seated in the midst of a beautiful fountain of light, when the gateway is open and inspiration is moving in. It is within the blessing of that presence that one takes up the work of seeking to know the truth, seeking to feel the insights that only come to a faithful and listening heart. The barriers to work with the gateway to intelligent infinity are those things that would block any entity in any of the rays up through the heart. Perhaps the most pervasive blockage found in spiritual seekers is a feeling of low self-worth, a feeling of unworthiness to do the work at hand. The one known as T spoke recently to this instrument of the depth of searching that she has gone through since the homecoming gathering that this entity attended at LL Research, asking the question, "Who am I?" As she has delved into that question more and more, she has found a great deal of work that she feels the need to do in order to become a more sturdy and stable individual, spiritually speaking. The one known as T said that she found a great deal of self-judgment as she approached the question of, "Who am I?" We do not attempt to suggest to you that you make no mistakes. To be a third density being, my friends, is to be error prone. You are dwelling within a heavy illusion, and your culture has many, many distortions, which make it almost impossible to know what the truly ethical or right thing is to do at certain times. Further, in human nature, there is an unevenness of focus that is almost always present to some extent within the personality, so that on one day you may feel that you are doing very well with the catalysts that you have, and on another day you may feel that you're doing quite poorly at it. Handling things in clumsy ways, saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. We would encourage you to lift away from self-judgment at times that you feel that you have made an error. It is well to observe errors in yourself when they occur. That is how one learns, by making mistakes. As entities become more and more spiritually mature, they find delight in using the fruits of their self-knowledge of the past. And so the heavy burden of self-doubt and a feeling of low self-worth is a little bit easier to dissolve. Yet always there is a disappointment that strikes a seeker when one realizes that one has made an error. One cannot go back and fix it. One simply must begin again and hope to remember the graceful way, the loving way, the compassionate way to handle catalysts of this kind when it comes around again, as it most surely will. Self-criticism and self-judgment are powerful sources of blockage. There is within many seekers the desire to make a difference in the world, to help others and serve good causes. Yet, in that same general run of seekers, there is often a prejudice against working on the self, for it seems selfish to be absorbed in the processes of the self. It is our opinion that it is in healing yourself that you heal the world. It is in learning to love yourself that you learn to love others. It is in finding compassion at last for yourself that you are finally able to have compassion on others. It is in blessing your own suffering by respecting it, honoring it, and forgiving it in yourself that you become able to behold the suffering of the world in its massive and almost infinite depth. My sisters, my brothers, it is necessary, really, for you to fall in love with yourself. Self-judgment cannot be overcome. It must be balanced by compassion. You are bound to make mistakes and come under the possibility of judgment. Yet also do you have within you creatorship, so that you are never in a position of having failed for longer than it takes for you to turn around again to the light and start afresh. There are various techniques for falling in love with yourself. If you are present with yourself and become aware of the wide range of emotions that you feel, that may be the most direct way to become kindly affectionate towards yourself, to like yourself, and ultimately, gloriously, genuinely, truly fall in love with yourself. Just as you are. You are perfect. This need not give you any cause for arrogance or pride. All entities are perfect. All entities are the Creator. Yet you dwell in the creation that you have made. So pamper yourself with good thoughts, good experiences, and frequent dips in the waters of truth and beauty and inspiration in whatever ways appeal to you. Another very common barrier that closes the energy body down in whatever chakra it is originating from is fear. There are any number of ways to be afraid. One may have a condition of chronic fear because of those things which have occurred and have been difficult catalysts to bear. There are ways to be afraid of the future. There may be fear surrounding the very process of knowing yourself, for you have a healthy and thriving shadow side, and you must acquaint yourself with that, as well as with the part that takes your fancy, that part that is in the sunlight and likable. However, fear does come around. However, fear does come upon you. It will block the energy flow of, it will block the flow of energy through the chakra system. And so we recommend that the exercise of balancing to be performed at least daily, in the evening, at the end of your day, when you have a little time to reflect on what has occurred. Ask yourself what thoughts you may have had this day where your even tenure and your open heart were interrupted, even momentarily. And then move to those points of departure from the even keel of an open and flowing energy body. If some issue has arisen that has closed the heart, even for a second, it is well to move into that emotion once again. Relive it, and even exaggerate it so that you have a very conscious and thoughtful awareness of just what happened, just what it was that caused that feeling of, say, impatience, anger, jealousy, or even great joy. Anything that takes you away from the open heart and stops the flow of energy is deserving of an examination. And once you have thoroughly re-experienced this moment where catalyst became too much for you and closed your energy system down, then allow yourself to begin to experience the dynamic opposite of that emotion. If you felt impatience because another driver on the road cut you off, changing onto the expressway without regard to your car, imagine the situation again. Only this time imagine yourself having complete patience and utter tranquility. And emphasize and exaggerate that feeling until you are swept away by it. Then release both dynamic opposites of patience and impatience, and see how much more balanced you feel. Do this in the case of each of those thoughts or emotions that have thrown you off balance during the day. Reflect upon each of them, honor them, experience them, balance them, and restore your energy body to a good, even flow. You may find yourself wanting to tune up your energy body during the day as well. And it can be done in a moment. If you wish to use that moment. We do not suggest shaping your thoughts because you know those are the thoughts you should have. Should is not a word that is helpful in spiritual seeking. It has nothing to do with the open and spontaneous flow of the love and the light of the one infinite Creator with whom you are attempting to work. Each of your thoughts is appropriate in its own way, and true, and good, and it is what it is. Therefore, it is in that open and spontaneous flow of thinking and acting and feeling that the meat of the seeker learning lies. So when we say to Tune up the self. We do not mean to alter the behavior, but rather to open the self to the awareness of the Creator. When you are able to do this, even momentarily, it opens up the chakra body and allows the energy to move freely. This entity is a mystical Christian, and often she has a one-word prayer that she uses. It is the word Jesus. That one word can alter her entire attitude. There are key words for each of you. For the one known as R, it is the word remembrance. Find those key phrases that make your heart smile and that restore the flow of good energy through your body. We are those of QO. At this time, let us iterate to you our thanks, our gratitude, and our pleasure at being asked to be part of your circle of seeking this evening. It has been a true delight for us. You help us so much by allowing us to attempt to be of service to you. And you teach us so much each time that we interact with you. We thank you with all of our collective heart. At this time, we will leave this instrument and this group in the love and in the light, in the peace and in the power of the one infinite Creator. We are known to you as the principle of QO. Adonai, Adonai.